I'm Grump. And I'm the Game Grump.
Hey everybody, so I found some old files on my computer of stuff that I used to work on, or that I was working on that got abandoned or something like that. Anything that I sort of deemed like even remotely interesting, I put it on a drive and I brought it here so we could take a look at it. On this in this episode, I guess, I'm gonna go through one of my failed game design projects called Puzzmosis. All right, this was a game. Let me bring up yeah. Let me bring up okay. So this is a game that I was developing with this dude, and let me just preface this by saying this is a failed game attempt, and it was on 100% my fault. The dude I was working with goes by Afro Ninja. His name's Sean. Incredibly talented programmer. Basically implemented everything that I wanted. It's just that the things that I wanted were not good. Because I was a lot younger. I made this maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I was, 22, 23? And I had never really tried to make a game before. So this is a puzzle game. It's called Miss Ozma's Puzzmosis. This is some inspiration for the art style. This was some stuff that I believe Stamper helped come up with some ideas for stuff. Anyway, so the whole idea behind this game was you can move pieces around and you have to create chains like Puyo Pop. But the thing on the bottom was where you could detonate the pieces, and that was the huge problem with it, right? So I actually have a prototype of the game itself. So let's load that up and check that out. So here we go.
Miss Ozma's Puzzmosis!
So that's the voice of Kimlin Tran 8 years ago. She was the voice of Miss Ozma. So, oh yeah, there's a debug menu and everything. So this is the main menu, right? I was super in love with the charming style of it. I loved Miss Ozma. I think she's super cute. But you hover over.
Help me become the greatest chemist ever.
And there's these little animations and these little voice files and stuff.
Endless mode. How long can you keep it up?
Oh.
Synthesis mode. All the chemicals are reactable. This is the ultimate high energy mode.
Yeah, so that was like, you'll find out about that in a second.
Face off against the great chemists of our time.
So this was the whole thing about this game, right? That I wanted to be unique. I loved falling block puzzle games, but I wanted to make a game, a falling block puzzle game that had bosses, because I love bosses are my favorite part of any game. I feel like it's when the game designers can really get creative, really get crazy with the actual combat systems and stuff, which is why like games like No More Heroes and like Dark Souls are super appealing to me, because their boss fights are so unique and interesting. Alright, I get it. Okay, so this is the story mode.
And to explain her breakthrough synthesis process to the Council of Modern Chemistry, here is Miss Ozma.
That's me 8 years ago.
As you may know, I'm trying everything I can to make a super medicine for most diseases.
So this is the tutorial.
I have to move my cursor with the mouse and click the chemical orb I want to move. I can then replace it with any other orb I want, or simply drop it in an empty space. My goal is to synthesize the orb using the reactive chemical layer, or catalyst, on the bottom. And I do that by lining up 4 or more adjacent orbs next to the available catalyst.
And they explode.
I focus mostly on arranging the chemical orbs in such a way as to create a chain reaction of different chemicals, which I can then mix into a jar. Once I have enough of this chemical solution in the jar, I'll be able to temporarily pour it all over the chemicals and create a catalyst environment, which will allow me to easily synthesize chemicals into one another without the need of a bottom catalyst. This solution is only so powerful though, and I only have a limited amount of time.
Only a limited time.
Me to meet my criteria of synthesizing a specific amount of chemicals.
So I thought it was, so then she comes in here and talks about, like, that she just gave a speech.
Doing talks is so nerve-wracking. Back to work. I can't believe how close I am, but the closer I get, the farther I seem to be. But I can't give up now.
There's this whole, like, story about how she's sort of going through, being a chemist, and, like, rising up in the ranks. So this is the whole idea, right? You're swapping Ah, shit, I fucked that up. You're swapping these little balls in order to line them up to make a combo. And what I'm doing right now is actually the folly of the game from my designs. So basically, the bottom floor is the only place you can catalyze these chemicals, that is, make them explode, right? So you can literally just set up these like super easy chains like this, and then just wail. And then there you go. There's your chain reaction. It's super simple. But now that the chain reaction's going crazy, so I get the synthesis thing, and now it works anywhere, right? So like a normal puzzle game, it doesn't have to be on the bottom, it could be anywhere. And that clears the stage pretty quickly. So that was like the main problem, was that this whole idea of like this catalyzing area sort of ruined the idea that you had to like set up chains carefully, right? Because usually in like Puyo Pop, you have to set up chains carefully in such a way where like they don't detonate until the chain activates. But on this one, it's like you can just set that shit up right there, and it's like it's already set up. There's the chain. Boom. Wow, you know, that was hard. And then you need a certain amount of reactions in order to move on to the next stage. I'm not sure how far this was programmed ahead. So let's check this out. Let's clear this stage. But yeah, I was playing a lot of. There was a puzzle game in particular that I was super obsessed with, and I don't remember what it was called. But it was an arcade game, and it was like this, where you would pick up a piece and then you would replace it anywhere on the stage. And it was a super fast-paced game, and I really loved the feel of that. So I wanted to replicate that in this game.
Exciting!
So that cleared the stage, and there's all the stats and everything. Newgrounds had medals at the time, so there was some metal stuff worked in. Okay, yeah, so this is a boss stage, right?
You have a lot to learn, and perhaps a bit to unlearn, miss.
So, his whole thing was that he shot junk pieces out, so every so often he would, I think junk pieces just fell with them, and they would stand in the way of, they were just like regular junk pieces, basically.
Go.
But I was way into the idea of giving everything personality, right? So like, each piece had a super crazy, and I don't, yeah, so the junk pieces you couldn't move. Oh, no, you can. Okay, never mind. I feel like maybe I moved him
That
to...
was a good one.
Yeah, so he's constantly attacking you, so that was his thing about being a boss, right? So shkaboom, haha. And the only way to get rid of these junk pieces was to detonate pieces next to them, a la, I guess Puyo Pop has that, and Puzzle Fighter has that. But yeah, so the whole idea of there being bosses was a super cool idea to me, and I wanted each boss to be super uniquely different. So you know, he had junk pieces, and then one boss would have like pieces that were sort of like unmovable around. I feel like it would probably be best to layer these pieces so that they're right next to exploding things constantly. But yeah, it was like super animation heavy. I wanted to make sure every character had like a really extreme personality. So he's got his own background. He's got his own logo. He's got his own border. And each border sort of has its own animation when it shows up. His just kind of plunks down, but like you'll see later in a sec the girl Janice, catty chemist Janice. Hers like animates and like draws itself, and it's very cool. Get chains of 5 or higher. Oh, that's how you have to beat them. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. It's typical me, right?
Maybe that's rusty.
I fucking made the game and I don't even know what the hell the win condition is. Okay, let's beat him and see if there's more after this. Let's see. Line up some reds. Line up some greens. Line up some more purples. Line up a row of blues. Okay, so... Oh, no, I lost!
As usual.
Oh, bummer. Okay, well, anyway. So that gives you the basic gist of what I was trying to accomplish with this game, right? Now, there's a lot of stuff that's So here's like a list of Ozma animations that I was gonna do of her, like, you know, winning or losing or stuff. I was always obsessed with the idea of like just a plethora of personality and variety in animations. Like, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg of what I wanted to do in terms of like if you win or lose, because I always felt like it was always fun to sort of discover new things that a character would do or like an animation would do in a game, and there's no need for like readability with Ozma. So like in a platformer game, right, when you like have a walk cycle or you have a jump or something, it always has to look the same because it has to have like a sense of readability. Like after a while, your brain sort of just sees the silhouette of it and knows that like that's a jump, right? So you can't really switch it up too much or else it sort of gets confusing and muddy in the movements. But with Ozma, she's just there, and her being there doesn't really affect any sense of like that you have to think of stuff quickly on the fly. That's all the actual pieces. So I wanted to give her tons and tons of animation. So let's see. There's one thing I wanted to show. So this is one of the characters, Colden. He would freeze your pieces so they were inactive for a while, right? Oh, this is just all of them. Okay. So I think I have each of their animations in here. Yeah. So he was all about like preserving solutions. So yeah, so that he would want to freeze all your shit. So like here's some animations for him. He's got like the little nose flick. He'll laugh. This is when he like attacks. This is I used to love that animation where he like puts the coat on. He's so fucking anime cool. That's when he loses, I think. Yeah, he freezes himself. whatever that. And that's when he comes out for the first time. And this is Janice. She was sort of like your main rival. So she wanted to, yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird she didn't have hands, because nobody has hands. Well, he has hands because he's holding stuff. But when they're not holding stuff, they don't have hands. So I probably should have given her hands. But she was sort of your rival, and I think she was all about like sabotaging your pieces, and I actually don't remember what her thing was. I think it was just because I think she was the one who had the unmovable pieces, so that was like annoying and it took up a lot of space. So like there's her attacking, give her a little boob jiggle, that's nice. Her losing, she gets upset and cries. She's doing her little anime laugh. This is her getting attacked. That's her attacking. She pulls her hair out. I don't remember that. Look at that. The little butt wiggle. There you go. I got lazy with her animations, unfortunately. I love animating girls, so I don't know why I did that. You saw pretty much all of, I forget his name. But then here's like the boss dude. So he was the last guy. He was supposed to be like the main chemist, and he's the one like standing between you and getting your like patents understood or something. So there's only 4 bosses that I planned. So his movements were very minimalistic. I love that when you win and he's just like, oh my god, you beat me. Yeah, so he was super cool and fucking anime as hell. I forgot his name, to be honest with you. So let's check out some other stuff we got here with Puzzmosis. Borders. Okay, so check this out. So I wanted each player to have unique borders. So with yeah, so you can see with Janice, hers is like, it's like this lattice kind of lacy border, and it sort of draws itself in. It's really beautiful. Actually, let's see if I can find the animation for that. And then Colden has the frozen borders, right? And then you saw his, and then his. Oh yeah, he was like he was sort of like an apocalyptic chemist, or like the only chemistry he did was for like wartime. So he had that whole background with the fucking. Let me see if I can get rid of him and just show the background, because there's like a gas mask back there or something. Yeah. God, that's so extreme. I totally forgot about that. But let's see the animation for this. I think. Oh no, this isn't the animation. I probably have that somewhere. Let's see, logo. That's the game logo. let's check this out. Yeah, so that like comes in, and I loved this logo. I was so proud of it. I wanted to make it look like an anime logo, and I love how it like pops in and the little pieces come in. Each piece has a different personality. I'm sure you guys noticed, but like the blue piece is sort of always happy, the yellow piece is kind of stupid, the red piece is always angry, and the green piece is like sassy. So those were super fun to make, and I had all kinds of, like I said earlier, like I wanted to add in all kinds of animations, so I added in like a bunch of different animations for the pieces themselves that would just sort of randomly show up, and that would, give people just something interesting to always look at, you know. This was, I wanted to do a round before you fought the boss chemist, where you were giving a presentation about your chemistry. So the background was like this audience of other chemists, like trying to understand your situation, your solutions, and everything. Let's see, what do I have in here? Okay, that's just that background. But yeah, this was a good, like a really good long part of my life that I was working on. Well, basics is already open. This was months and months of my time, because I was like, this is gonna be a thing. The ending. Whoa. Wait, hold on. Does this have sound? No. Okay, so this is the ending I was planning, right? Let me see if the screen. So I remember he went. Yeah, so he went. Okay, these are all just keyframes. So he's because he's like the boss chemist, right? He finally acknowledges her for her like studies in chemistry, right? So he's sort of like, look at her, she's incredible. You guys all came down on her, and I was just testing her, and I have to give her kudos, and she's a great chemist, and she should be revered for her work and stuff, and it's all emotional and stuff. So that was the ending. Very, very clean, very simple. Sort of underdog story going on there. But yeah, man, I don't know how much else there is to show. I feel like there was so much more. I had those animations for the borders. I don't know where they are. Maybe there's an FLA. But yeah, that's basic. Oh wait. Oh, here we go. His name was Sheath. Okay, cool. So yeah, here are the animations. So this is Sheath's animation, Catastrophe Chemist Dr. Sheath. So like it just sort of rolls up. It's like caution tape that rolls up, and it's like he's like the biohazard catastrophe chemist. That's right. Oh man, I loved making those borders. Those were super fun. So Voltour was the first guy. So his stuff just kind of in his little things fill up, his little beakers fill up. And then these, I think I wanted these to animate while you were playing, but I don't think we worked that in. And then Colden, yeah, just kind of, and then like the ice comes out right there. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh man, yeah, just all the personality I tried to work into the little moments in this was super fun to do. And where is Duvoir? That's where the Janice Duvoir was her name. This was my favorite. So like, yeah, it like draws itself and then it writes itself. And look at that. That's fucking. I spent so much damn time on that. Let me zoom in on that when it comes in. If it like writes it out, and then the fucking background like animates and it's wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that was super fun to do. I remember being super proud of doing this particular border. But yeah, damn man, I feel like there's even more to go over here, but gosh dang, there's just there's too much. But anyway, thanks for joining me on this little adventure. This was oh yeah, this is another thing. So in the round before you fight the boss, I wanted there to be some kind of inkling of the boss in the background. So on the second one, you're like at a cafe and you're like writing notes about that's sort of the round that you're playing, right? So she's in the background and she's sort of eavesdropping on you coming up with your ideas. in playing the game. And as you make like a combo or something, she sort of emotes and she's like, oh, pfft. And then in the next round you fight her and she's like, all right, let's get down and dirty. But yeah, man, I hope that was entertaining or interesting to some people. There's some other games I'd like to go over after this, so I'm gonna do that. Join me for the next episode, will ya? Okay. Thanks, man.